What's up out there? Welcome back to some more Melver Idol. Today we got a trailer for the expansion with a release date, and the expansion is going to drop on October 20th, which, if my math is correct, is 2 weeks from today. So, today being the 6th. So, I took some screenshots from this. They're kind of blurry, so I didn't get like a whole lot of it, but there's a lot of motion in the video and it's hard to read certain aspects of it, even watching the video on full screen. Thought about going out to the TV and watching some of it, but I don't know. I figured we could just discuss what shows up in here and what looks cool and everything. There's been some other things that were announced here that I don't know if you guys caught on to or not, but we'll go over a few things here and see what this trailer looks like, see what we can see, because this is really the first time we've seen any of this content. So let's dive in. The first thing that they show, I mean, we get a little bit of the Herald himself sitting on his little throne and all that. But then we move on to combat. And they show us a couple of screens from, it looks like the Golden Cloud Mountain, and then the Underground Lava Lake. So we've got like a angel knight kind of person on there, probably an angel of some sort. And then in the Underground Lava Lake, we have a burning snake. And pretty cool art. The art style of this has kind of evolved. Some of the earlier stuff is really basic, and some of the better stuff's, some of the newer stuff's a little better. They have some weird synergies on here. The leprechaun and monkey, don't understand that because you're in combat, apparently. But we see some of the new gear, which is basically just reshades of pretty much the old melee gear. And got a new amulet in the passive slot. And looks like a set of gloves or something. Some green gloves and a red ring of some sort. And maybe an adamant cape or something different. Maybe a different cape on there. But some new gear for sure. They've added a new slot, and it looks like there's a clock or a compass or something in this one. Kind of hard to tell. I really should have got a little better screenshot of it, but looks like a compass. And I will add that if we go into the Steam news, which I should have had queued up already, if we go into the Steam news and scroll down into this, they added some quality of life features. One of them is going to be a consumable slot, and the consumables are presumably going to be like the fishing hooks, the whetstones, the prayer scrolls, the alchemy bags, that kind of thing. So instead of using up the where you normally put where you normally put those things now, where the ranged ammunition goes, those are going to be a consumable slot. So that's a nice quality of life change. They're also going to add quick equip for combat, which that is huge in my book. And actually they showed that slot there too, now that I'm looking at the picture on this and know what I'm looking for. So basically each one of your gear sets is going to have 3 sets you can select from and hot swap between them while you're in combat. So that looks pretty cool. And then they also added some agility blueprints, which I never really thought about this, but this would be pretty cool. You can save a blueprint as long as you've got the materials for it. It will set all of your obstacles. So I don't want to go to combat, so I'm going to set that, and it hits it. So that's going to be pretty cool too. I'm digging that. And if we go back to the combat thing here, that's where this little compass is. So I don't know if that means it's like a Slayer. Can the Slayer items go in there, to let you into the Slayer area? Does that fit into the consumable slot? I'm not sure. Probably not, but I'm curious what this compass looking thing is. So the first thing we see is a little bit of the combat screen, which, I mean, it just shows you some equipment. From there, we go into some dungeons, and we've got the Ancient Sanctuary. There's 7 new dungeons. The Ancient Sanctuary, the Lightning Region, which sounds pretty cool there, Lair of the Spider Queen, Cursed Forest, Necromancer's Palace. There's one that we have to defeat something to unlock, and there's the Underground Lava Lake, which gives us the Burning Chest by the look. 21 monsters, high combat level, 1140. Okay. So these are all insane, so they're all highly rated on this. Not really much else to glean from this, but pretty cool at least. Necromancer's Palace sounds awesome. We'll probably get a whole bunch of new monsters out of that. And then from there, they talk about the Slayer areas, which we're getting 8 new Slayer areas. These have a asterisk of paid content on there, so I'm going to guess we have to pay for this, which I'm buying the expansion anyway. It doesn't matter, but this includes the Jungle Labyrinth, Lava Lake, Forsaken Tundra, Foggy Lake, Afflicted City, Midnight Valley, Golden Cloud Mountains, and the Millennial Gate, which I'm going to guess the Millennium Gate. I'm going to guess the Millennium Gate's probably the last boss of the whole game, because they did say you were supposed to go and fight something there. The Jungle Labyrinth has the Impending Darkness event on it, so I'm going to guess you have to beat the Impending Darkness event to get in here, and probably get through some of this other stuff to get into... let's see, you have to beat the lightning. Yeah, so you're going to have to clear some of these dungeons to get these Slayer areas. Looks like the dungeons and the Slayer areas are kind of going back and forth, because the Foggy Lake says you have to beat the lightning region to get into it. So, and then you've got to have certain things equipped at certain times and beat certain areas. So that's cool. We're going to have to wind through a bunch of different content to open up the next bit of content. From there, we get into gear, and we get a really good look at the gear that's in here. There's something odd in the consumable slot. I'm not sure what that is. Some really cool looking boots and helmet and everything. Let's see. Neat looking amulets, some new arrows. Kind of hard to tell what some of this stuff is, but we get a chance to look at the new gear, which we're going to get Corundum gear, Augite gear, Meteorite gear, and Divine gear. Now, the Meteorite stuff, I'm kind of wondering if we have to gather that from astrology. There was some things we had to get, like you had to watch for falling stars and then go collect them or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see that. We also see a bunch of new prayers. They don't tell us what they are, but it almost looks like we've got a whole bunch of prayers equipped, or they're just highlighting them to show that they're new. But they showed the one. Looks like there's 8 new prayers. Let's just say that. And then we get a little peek at the archaic magics, which is going to be better than the ancient magics. So probably get those as we go along the dungeons, I'm assuming. So that's a little bit of the gear we get to see a part of. And from there, they talked about some non-combat stuff. And this one showed some new runes that we're going to get for summoning, and get a little peek at some of the gear that we get. Looks like there's like a climbing grappling hook or something. Not sure what that's all about. And there's like another thing in the passive or the consumable slot. And like they're showing a whole bunch of different gear in here. Not sure why, but they keep showing, like they have the hunter's ring on here and some, I think the Burning Madness gloves, but it's all like non-combat stuff, because there's something for fishing, and then they got some stuff for the astrology portion on here. All very cool looking. I think the astrology is basically you put the sand into it to adjust it however you want. They're going to be set, but you have to pay so much sand to unlock each one or something like that. There's none of this rolling stuff we have to do anymore. So that's the first look at the non-combat stuff we get. Then they have a slide in, well, they have, as it scrolls by, there's some things in here about agility, but this kind of was all really blurry and hard to see, so I didn't really get a good look at what some of this was, unfortunately. We do get over into the Township. We get our first look at Township, and this looks really cool, actually. There's a population tab or section or whatever, how many workers you have available. There's a storage section, their happiness rating, their education. I think that's their health, and then worship. Looks like they're worshiping Eris, so you can probably switch between the different gods and get different bonuses, which I think they mentioned that. There's some town, the build, the citizens, collect resources, I think. Some of this is starting to get really blurry. And I believe these were the little towns on here. But as it went on, there was more sections to it, and we get to see the actual towns themselves. So it's hard to tell on this, but it looks like you have to buy these different sections, and they all have a resource cost, and they probably have a resource drain to them, I'm guessing. This is part of the free content. Now that I see that, it's down at the bottom. And then there's a gather tab, which it looks like you have to, I don't really understand what it's saying here. Gather resources. This looks to be part of the Township skill, but it's kind of odd. It says you have to have 800 leather vests to get one red dragon lower that's fully upgraded. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm interpreting this right. And then you can, I don't know if that means you can take so many of these and convert them to the other. Like, do you have a use for some of this gear that you've got left over? Maybe you can pile them together and sell them. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this shakes out, because it looks like you might be able to trade things. I'm not sure what gather means. Gather sounds like you're collecting, but when you look at this, it's like you got this to this, this to this, this to this. Does that mean you're breaking it down, converting it over, or receiving something as reward for getting so many? Like, if I make 13 hard leather boots, do I get one of these leather vests? I don't know. It's kind of odd. Not sure how to take that one yet. We'll see. Further down the Township section is some unique rewards you can get. Stargazing leggings. Now, they have costs associated with them. There's like a pirate's captain hat, +2 Township skill. Looks like it requires level 35 Township. I'm guessing that's what that symbol is. And then 35 fishing, costs a couple million. Requires 1 mouse cat to be actively built in the temple. So you have to build these mouse cat things. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Right off the bat, I'm gonna be able to buy a lot of this stuff with my standard character, but I'm gonna have to work on Township a lot to get some of the higher stuff. So there's a lot of little unique rewards here that help out. Township skill, Township resource generation, global gold. So there's another 5% global gold. Township education, Township skill, fire making. Yeah, so there's some extra bonuses for various things. I don't know if this is all of them or if there's other ones, but pretty cool looking. From there, we went into mods, and we get a look at the mod screen, which they did show us a little bit about the mod screen. One of the questions that I have about this, though, is do the mods apply to all of your saves, or can you mod individual saves specifically? Because my two characters that if you've been watching my series that's going on, my standard and my hardcore, I do not want modded at all. I want those to be just normal, regular characters. And I would like to take and use mods on making, say, a hardcore combat only character or something like that. And I still don't know what a floppy Chio is. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious how these mods work. They're supposed to work between all the different clients that you have, web client, the mobile client, and the Steam client. So if you activate it on one, it's supposed to be activated on all, I think. I just want to see how it works. You know, whether it's active on one account or all accounts. I would assume it's per account, per save, or it's per save, not per account. Let's say that. So I am definitely looking forward to October 20th, and that will do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.